It's me, the Vortex, and today we're going to be ranking all the Deltarune Chapter 4 characters. Well, not just Chapter 4, Chapters 1 through 4, and I've already set up our rankings so that we can do it. These characters are the characters that, more like bosses and enemies. I've already set up our ranking. Now, I'm trying to think, do I want to start with these characters? Because I feel like if I start with them, it's going to be very boring. Gerson, one of the greatest characters. Honestly, straight to cinema. A great character. I'm glad that it's not like a super sad backstory character. Like that's foreshadowing. Instead, they actually get like really good positive development. It was foreshadowed that they were a great teacher, and we actually see them being a great teacher in real time. And also, they have really good agency where you actually see that there's someone who's actually trying to get things done, actually having an impact on the story, making like real-time decisions on their own accord. Next, Spamton, also great, one of the greatest characters, probably honestly the greatest character. The order that they're in doesn't matter, but I'm just saying like Spamton, my beloved. Spamton, I love how we just have the greatest intro of all time, showing us exactly who the character is, and also the character is shown to be someone who never gives up. Just over time, they've tried over and over again, but they fail each time. But they never gave up until we meet them, and then we give them hope. And when hope's lost, then that's when the character changes. And also, it's kind of suggests that they're dead there. Obviously, they weren't dead, but it also does feel like a great arc. They felt dead because their character really changed. It was the first time they gave up. Sweet Cap'n Cakes, I was not a fan of Sweet Cap'n Cakes. I like this character a little bit. I'll put this character with cool. The rest, I'm gonna honestly, this one was forgettable. Actually, I don't even remember what this one did, so both forgettable. This one doesn't talk, so it's a goner. It's not a bad character, but it's a goner, so it's gonna go in gonerized. This guy is actually pretty fun. I want to say they're good. Let's see, these guys, I don't know what they're called, the Greater Rudens or something. They're cool. Rules card is actually, I didn't really like them at first, but they grow on you. I won't forget Rules card. This character, thing is, this character is actually pretty good, but it's a reference to Undertale, and this ranking is going to be independent from Undertale. It's purely Deltarune, so I can't really put them there. I'm going to put them at didn't need it, because if it wasn't an Undertale reference, like this character would actually be like here, but it's an Undertale reference, and without the Undertale reference, well, actually no, without the Undertale reference, you still get like a socially anxious person, so I'll put it up cool. Oh, these guys, I love these guys. These guys are great. My queen! You dare awaken my queen. Oh. You did not hear that. I'm gonna put them at, so I put them at, I kind of like them more. I'm gonna put them at won't forget. Lancer. Ooh, Lancer, I kind of want to put Lancer in cinema. Thing is, in chapter 1, Lancer is definitely cinema, but in later chapters, Lancer kind of falls off. Because the thing that the thing that makes Lancer great is like their impact on other characters and how they change as a character. Like if originally they just want to please their dad and they're an evil person, but then they realize, oh, I want to please Susie, and they make Susie a better person. And then in chapter 2, what happens with Lancer in chapter 2? I mean, they turn to stone, so. But after that, like, the character gets a little worse. Like, the character isn't as interesting. Meanwhile, in other chapters, Lancer gets better with each chapter. I like Lancer better more in each chapter. Sans is Sans is a good character, but if outside of Undertale, because the reason Sans is a good character is because in Undertale they're really multifaceted. They're dealing with depression and stuff, but you don't really see that in Deltarune because they're happy. However, they have some really good jokes, and they've already had a inseparable impact on the story. They actually seem like a real character with real interests and stuff. These characters actually pretty good. They're in the diner. They seem really realistic, so I'm gonna put them at good. They make the town feel more realistic dialogue. Same with this guy. Jockington. Jockington is not a bad character. It's just the way Jockington is written is that like they have a really strong foundation to be a good character. It's just they haven't given the reason for it to be a good character yet. So far, I'm just gonna put it in cool. But right now, they kind of just seem like a sidekick for Caddy. Meanwhile, Caddy, where's Caddy? Caddy so far is actually a pretty good character. They have their own personality. They clearly have their own interests and actually seem like they have an important role in the story. They have some agency. Meanwhile, Jockington, they have the foundation. It's like they're setting something up for Jockington, but it hasn't been delivered yet. So next, Snowy Gonerized. I hate this character. There's nothing likable about this character. Do they even have a personality other than telling jokes? There actually are some good moments with the character, but all the good moments are actually their dad, which shows you that their dad is actually funny. Like, don't slam your head on the door, but they don't get credit for that. So, Timmy, I actually really like Timmy. Timmy is pretty fun. Timmy doesn't have any bad moments in the game, but they also don't have any like crazy moments either. Father Alvin, I actually really like Father Alvin. They're not there yet, I don't think. They're really good. It's like they're halfway here. Like, Father Alvin hasn't actually done anything yet. Like, they have the foundation, like I said, and they have some really good dialogue, but they are here. But in chapter 4, Gerson, the way they talk about Alvin, the way they set up the relationship between Alvin and Gerson makes them seem like they should be here, but Alvin hasn't actually done anything yet. Hopefully Alvin actually does something, so they have a little bit of agency. But I haven't seen that yet. Actually, wait, no, actually, there was the thing where like they took the hammer and they put it in their cabinet thing. So that was pretty. I'll put it for won't forget. They're pretty well written characters. They just haven't done anything yet. Rudens, actually really like not Rudens, the Pippins. Really like the Pippins. The Pippins were really good. Their underground betting, the way that they're cheaters. They also have really fun movements, like where they just zoom away. Wait, I'm just realizing. I gotta move them down. There's no way that they're at the same level as Lancer when they haven't really done anything yet. This character has a pretty good dialogue. Put them at good. Also, be clear, cool isn't bad. Cool isn't. We're rating on a curve here. Toby's character is pretty good, so having cool for like another franchise would be like greatest character ever. So don't be offended if your character ends up in cool, because I know some of you guys have a favorite character. Like Jerry might be your favorite character for some reason. I don't know why, but don't get offended when I put Jerry at. Actually, Jerry's a pretty good. Ooh, Jerry's a pretty good joke, but it's an Undertale joke, so I can't really give it to him. Caddy actually got pretty good in chapter 4. I'll put them at good. I actually really like this character. I can't put them at won't forget because, but they're actually pretty good. I like them. I'm gonna move her down to cool. This character needs to be a goner. They actually are pretty fine characters. They're annoying all the good characters. So, Starwalker, S tier. Cinema tier. Amazing. Okay, let's be serious. Starwalker is won't forget. Newbert, however, Newbert's actually really good. Like, Starwalker's a good joke. Newbert's actually pretty good. Because Newbert's moving up in the world. Now there's cinema. This character is actually pretty good. I actually like this character. The relationship between them and Burger Pants is actually pretty cute. I'll put them at won't forget. Well, no, I can't do that. I put them at good. These characters is good atmosphere. These characters actually writing. This character, I don't even know what's happening with this character. I don't remember them, so I'm gonna put them. Don't need it. This monster kid or monster team, not that interesting now. Yeah, nothing's really happening with this character. Just talking. They give some good exposition, but they don't really have a personality like they did in Undertale. Or like they were a big fan of Undyne and they were always falling over and stuff. They don't really have anything going on in this character. They're kind of boring. Same with this character. I don't know what's going on with this character. I want to like this character because I have a really good accent for this character. Mamma mia, to be sir. That sounded racist. That's not. I promise. I'm way better usually. Mamma mia. Oh, look at my beautiful pizza. No. No. I do a great Italian. This character is actually pretty fun. As you see, their alternative is here because I'm not rating both of them, and this character doesn't really get anything. But this character is actually a really good joke. I'm gonna put them at cool. Actually, no, that's a good. I'm gonna put them at good. Alfie's. So remember, we're talking independently from Undertale. They're pretty. They're actually pretty good. They're pretty well written. You know, they're trying to take up the mantle of this former hero, and they're trying to be the cool teacher, but they're still like socially awkward and stuff. Meanwhile, Undyne, where's Undyne? Oh yeah, Officer Undyne, Undertale, they were a really good character, but here they don't really have anything going on. I mean, that's kind of the point. Hometown's pretty boring, that's what they say. I'll put them at cool. The dog burglars, the wet bandits or something, the wet nose bandits. They're actually pretty cool. As you see, I'm not ranking their entire crew individually. I'm just gonna do one to represent the whole. They're actually pretty good. They have some good jokes. Queen S tier character, better than Spamton. The order doesn't matter. However, in cinema, I feel like the order should matter. So, cinema. Are they better than Gerson? Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like Gerson's better. However, the Queen is still the GOAT. Just like the third GOAT. Especially how like the entire ecosystem of Chapter 2 feels like a world that's been lived in. And like every character feels impacted by Queen. And also the fact that Queen seems like a stand-in for Carol. Like Queen seems like they're supposed to represent what Carol's gonna be like. Like I don't think we're gonna really see Carol that much until the end. I kind of wish that's how Tenna was. Like Tenna was just supposed to be Asgore. I'm gonna make some jokes about that name when Asgore comes up. I don't want to do Death yet. Let's do Birdly. Birdly is actually a pretty good character. I'm gonna put them in Won't Forget. They're actually really pretty good. It's just in Chapter 4 kind of feels like, I guess if they lose their arm, then they do react a little bit. But it seems like you do the game like the correct way, quote unquote, then they kind of don't learn anything. Like doesn't impact anything. Like they just go back to how they were before, except now they're like Susie. C-Round is a really fun character. I won't forget. Jebel, also a great character. I don't think they're cinema, but they're a really good character. I don't think so. We can change things as we go on further. But Burger Pants, however, is cinema. Honestly, I think Burger Pants might be my third favorite character. I think Burger Pants might be the best Lightner character. Well, I guess technically Gerson's a Lightner, but that doesn't count because he's dead. Burger Pants, however, great character. I love the facial expressions. I love how like they also have this hope and they feel like society just sucks for them no matter what. It's also an Undertale reference, but even without the Undertale reference, it's still great. Also, I think the reason is just because one of my favorite lines in the game is there is no I in pizza. Yes, there is, but you just took it out. That's just, it always hits. The great line. These characters are pretty much all the same. Oh, this one though, I actually like this one. This character is really fun. They're like a monarchist, sort of like they're supposed to be an apolitical guy. Queen is invading, but they don't care because they don't care about politics, and then they switch to being a fan of Queen. It says they're safe because they're on Queen's side, only to get jacked as well. And when I say jacked, I mean like they get plugged in, not like they get buff. This character, they learn to like the countryside. That's cool. They're a cool gimmick. The mice are actually a pretty fun addition to the game. This is supposed to represent all of the Addisons. The Addisons as a unit are really good. This character actually has a really good vibe. It feels like there's something going on with this character. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone that this character could be? I can't think of it. I'm gonna put them at good. Shyren, is Shyren in the choir? I don't know, but if Shyren provides good atmosphere and it's an Undertale reference, obviously we're not counting Undertale references, but it's like, it's good. I'll put them here. Like, cool means it should be in the game. Like, I'm satisfied. Okay, I'm not gonna say Gaster, but Eggman behind the tree. They're actually really good. In chapter 4, oh, not chapter 3, they actually become way more compelling. And actually, it's a pretty good thing. These guys are actually pretty fun. They're pretty good. Seeing them not like their jobs, but still doing it anyway. And then when you come back, they're actually like, I kind of like fanning those lighteners and serving them. I don't even know what this is. If I can't explicitly say what's wrong with them, then it's not fair to put them all the way down there. Trashy. Trashy was originally pretty bad. Well, actually, wait. Is Cool Trashy here? Oh, wait. I think they are. Yeah, Cool Trashy's here, dang. I was gonna rank you pretty high, but then we saw Cool Trashy. Trashy's pretty good. In chapter 2, they have some good jokes. Onion-san is actually a pretty good character. I don't actually know if they reappear in chapter 4. I actually haven't seen them appear in chapter 4. But they're good. Honestly, I might put them... I'll put them good. Sham is a really good character. Won't forget. I don't think they're cinema. Honestly, I'm gonna put Jubble here. Why not? Napstablook was like my favorite character in Undertale, but here they're just kind of meh. A lot of stuff is missing from the character. I'm gonna put them decent. A lot of stuff is they just don't really seem like a good person anymore. I really like when they played their mixtape, but I wish there was like also more socially awkward and stuff. I mean, obviously they're still a little socially awkward since, you know, they got ran over by a car and so let it happen. But or they could have just had it like the other characters where their personality kind of changes. Like, because it seems like Bookie's pretty important. Maybe their music career takes off or something. I don't know. Task Manager, I can't rank them too high because people are going to start accusing me of things. I'm going to put them good. Mike, or just not Mike. Weird Face. I feel like Weird Face is good. I don't like how it was just used so casually in chapter 3 at the intro. I felt like having it be like a more obscure, like creepypasta thing was good. Having it appear in like the chapter 3 Mantle game was good, but just having it wide open in the open, like when you haven't said anything about it before, when it's a creepypasta, now you're sitting wide open, it's kind of, I'll put it decent. We don't know anything about the character. Now they're just there. They don't really suggest anything either. However, the alternative to that character is Des. The way Des is done compared to that character is way better. So far, I feel like Des is good though. Actually, no, I think Des is Won't Forget. Like, even though the character has never appeared, all of what we know is like hidden in the game files and stuff. It seems pretty important. And it seems like it will have a good payoff. This doesn't really seem like it's gonna have a good payoff. These guys in chapter 3, when you get the egg, is actually pretty good. I'll put them good. Ram, I actually really like Ram. I want to put Ram and Won't Forget. The problem is we didn't get enough of the character. If we got more scenes with the character, I think, I'm gonna leave them with I Won't Forget. Because they're pretty interesting, especially when they turn to stone, trying to, like they're still trying to make Chris happy, yet they're turning to stone halfway in the process. It's pretty interesting. Oh, Mike. Ugh. This Mike, goner. It was a fine joke. This Mike is actually pretty good. The way they talk, like the Green Pippin, because that's what they is when they get revealed. They're actually a pretty funny character. Like, they're kind of like Matt Pat. The other one's goner. Where's the other one? I don't remember what it looks like. It has a cowboy hat. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. They only have one good line, which is like maybe the real Mike is the friends we made along the way. That's not what they say. That's my headcanon of what they said because I don't remember them. So I'm just gonna put them in Goner. But like the joke about all the Mike theories is good. It's just the characters aren't that interesting. We're talking about purely the characters. The normal ones, like where they act scared and stuff, the intro to chapter 2 is actually pretty good. They feel like they're part of the world, yada yada. I don't really like this character. They're forgettable. Like their whole character is just they're looking for stuff, but they don't really have a personality or anything. Mr. Society is actually a pretty good character. The Horsey is decent. Caddy is actually getting a lot better as a character. Especially the way they're teasing Burger Pants and stuff. Actually getting pretty good as a character. What? El Nino? No. There will be no El Nino. I didn't need it. These characters could have been so much better. But they weren't. I wish they would use more as a reference to the Dreamer divorce. And like Tenna forcing them to be together and stuff. Or like, not really forcing them to be together, but like, I feel like it could have been done better. I also wish, like, at the point where rules were revealed to be like the X, that we found out that Tenna forced them to get with rules instead of them going there on their own. Because I feel like that would have been a better way to express certain themes. Because then it'll be like, oh, Tenna is forcing their parents to get back together. You know, bringing back up the divorce themes. Oh, these guys. I love these guys. They got Barry! These guys, you blow them. They're pretty cool. Oh, okay. Okay, pause. That sounded pretty weird. This character had a pretty good joke. They're decent. They're good, actually. For their screen time per capita, I guess. Like, jokes per capita. They're actually pretty interesting. Everyman is actually pretty interesting. Like, Everyman is sort of what I expected from I guess whatever this thing is. I'd say it's a pretty good reference. This character is the most average character I've ever seen. Like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, when I say average, I'm talking about average for Undertale and Deltarune. Like, they actually have a personality. They actually have, like, something interesting about them. They actually have a gimmick. They repeatedly appear. Like, they do what they're supposed to. They're a character. Not that interesting, but not a bad character. They're just there. The annoying dog, you have to give it an honorary S. Although I feel like the dog would actually appear and won't forget. Actually, I'm putting it won't forget. Sorry, Toby. You've been demoted. Oh, this character is pretty fun. I put them decent. They really match the themes well. Head Hathy, you haven't collected enough beds, that's pretty fun. The Queen has to go in good. I'm not kidding when I say that the water cooler was so much better, so much more interesting of a character than Lenino and El Nina. What even are they? Where's Lenina? I don't even know who they are. I don't care. Oh, they're right there. The water cooler, so much better. Actually, the water cooler has a whole arc. I'm gonna put them in good. Although the water cooler has some really good jokes, but I'm gonna put them in good. Cool Trashy, yeah. Cool Trashy is pretty cool. This is a joke. These are the yes men. Like, yes queen. Slay queen, you're a genius queen. This character, wonderful. They're pretty good. This character, well, I don't really even know what's going on. Actually, they're pretty forgettable. This character, Goner, get rid of them. This character, they would have been Goner, but they had the joke in chapter 4 is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty decent. you know, they actually they fit in the world. This person really fits in the world. This guy, as a package deal, they're fine. But this guy isn't as interesting as the other guy, just because that's how the dynamic of the joke works. So this guy's decent, while this guy is good. Flute guy, the philosophers. The philosophers are really good. I'll put them good. The Titan is good vibes for like a fight, but as a character, they aren't really a character. They're just there. So I'm putting decent. The fire extinguisher, it's kind of good. Actually, I'll put them decent. They aren't as good as this joke. I like this. I need someone to put me on a leash. That's pretty funny. I'll put them at. It's good for the environment. Not good for the environment. It's good for like the atmosphere of the game. I really like this character. This character's very fun. Won't forget. This character is really. I'm also curious. Is this what was on Chaos King's back? It's not there, but this kind of looks like what Chaos King was wearing. If it is, then that's pretty interesting. But this character is actually really good. It's just I feel like I might forget them because it's a really good like boss fight and it's really fun. But, you know, this character is good, but they aren't as good as. Honestly, I think I'm moving the water cooler up. Water cooler. The fact that I still remember the water cooler, despite I haven't actually watched chapter 3 in a while. This guy's actually pretty fun. Ooh, actually, the guy would be kind of good, but he lost Rousey's hat, and I actually really liked Rousey's hat, so I'm gonna put them a decent. Because now I can't call Rousey Toothpaste Boy, because they no longer look like toothpaste. Actually, they do look like toothpaste, but they no longer have the pointy hat. I want the hat to come back. I wanted to see them in the hat, but we never get to see it again. So that's annoying. The Roaring Knight. The Roaring Knight's a really fun character. Like, this is a good example of how the character doesn't need to talk. They can speak through their actions. Like, I really love the part where I really was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good character is when they laughed at Susie, and also like the things of them like being nice to Chris, like. Of Chris coughing and tell him, hey, you need to pack this up, you took no damage in that fight. That's really fun. I'm going to put them at Won't Forget for now, because we don't actually know how their arc ends. We don't actually know who they are or what they're doing. Or should they be cinema? I mean, they could be cinema. Also, when they're on the stairs and they like have their arms crossed looking at Susie all smug, actually I'm going to put them at cinema. Happy's pretty cute. Don't take that out of context. Politics Bear, some pretty good moments actually. Nothing to fear but Sphere itself, baby. That's a good line. Now for the moments you've been waiting for. There's more. Is this the main cast? I guess Birdly would be. Well, Birdly dies, so they can't be the main cast. Maybe Caddy will end up in the main cast. I feel like Jockington's gonna end up in the main cast. But other than that, yeah, this is the main cast. First, Rudy. I love Rudy. Rudy's actually a really fun character. Great to talk to. All their lines feel really natural and really fun. Now they're on par with some of these characters. I might need to move some of these characters down though. Yeah, I think actually it's fine. The mayor, Carol. Carol's pretty fun. Well, not fun. What am I talking about? Carol is actually a pretty good character. It's obvious that there's some type of relationship there. I think that they're the ones that called, that Chris called. And also, as I said, I think that I think that, I had an alarm go off straight into my eyes. My phone was pointed directly at my eye, and the flashlight thing went off my alarm. I think these are the same character. Obviously, they aren't on the same level, so I'm gonna put them. I think I'll put them at Won't Forget for now. Asgore is amazing. I wonder why Asriel isn't on this list. We have Asgore and Asriel. Asgore. Where do I put Asgore? I feel like Asgore's a really good character though. Like Toby set the character up so much in chapter 4, and there's been subtle like nodding that something's gonna happen with the character. I'm gonna leave them and won't forget for now, because if the game ends right now, Asgore will be probably forgotten. Same thing with Toriel. Toriel's a really good character, especially their relationship with Susie. I'm going to put them cinema, but I think it's pretty obvious that I'm gonna leave them. I won't forget, because right now I don't feel like Toriel, well, that I know of, Toriel doesn't have any conflict with their character. Like most of these characters have some sort of conflict. Like they want their son to be like Gerson wants their son to take up after them and actually write their own story. Spamton wants to be a big shot but fails every time. Burger Pants wants to be loved or anything to go their way, not to be a minimum wage employee. This character's just fun. Honestly, I feel like putting them at won't forget. Not yet. I'll come back. Noelle is actually a really fun character. I think they would be good if it wasn't for the Snowgrave route. The Snowgrave route makes them like very interesting, because we get to see like us taking a toll on the character, and we get to see how bad their relationship is with their mother. I'm gonna put them at won't forget for now. This is Chaos King. Chaos King, I didn't really like Chaos King. They're decent. Chaos King had the potential to be such a great character, but it was kind of wasted. Like the character kind of represents like they have this hierarchy forced on them of Lightners being better than Darkners, and then Lightners just abandon the Darkners, and like he's like, I'm gonna tear down your hierarchy, I'm gonna put myself on top. Yep, nothing's really done with that. Like now they're just the king. Like what do they actually want is kind of unclear. Like, you know, I feel like we needed more time with the character, because not only does their plan not seem that threatening, unlike in chapter 2 where we actually like learned that plan was going to destroy the world, but also it would have destroyed Noelle. Not destroyed Noelle, but it was against Noelle's will. Meanwhile, this is like, I guess we can't go home. Yeah, I kind of wish we had more of the king. Unfortunately, we can't really get that because the chapter is over and now they're just in Castle Town. Tenna. I am a certified Tenna hater. I feel like Tenna might be better. Yeah, Tenna is good, but everybody's always talking about how Tenna is somehow the greatest character of all time. How Tenna's better than Spamton, which I cannot have. Chapter 3 was my least favorite chapter. Overall, Tenna just has too much missing from their character. I feel like the character could have been good, but they needed a lot more development. And the thing I'm angry about is that they could have had that development, but I felt like that time was wasted during the actual game, like the first 2 boards. And then after not really developing the character, once we escape them, like once we get to like the Doom board area, like once we find out about Toriel, then the game has to catch up and starts developing them like crazy. But at that point, we've already started to dislike the character and not really care about them because we've gotten tired of Tenna. That's kind of the point of the character. Actually, I have some notes. Oh, one thing that I really don't like is that a lot of what makes the character sort of good is hidden in like secret areas, which the average player isn't going to really get access to. I forgot what it is, but on like the Mantle minigame, well not minigame, but in the Mantle game, there's an area where we find out that Chris had unplugged Tenna, and like they were afraid of being unplugged again. Why is that not referenced at all during the normal game? That could have been such a bombshell thing. Imagine if Tenna at the end mentioned how they've been unplugged for years, and that the knight and that they've been brought back, and the knight gave them a deal, and that they're afraid of dying. And then when you go back and play the game again, you go on the secret route, and then you find out, oh shoot, this character just got unplugged by Chris. Chris told them, Chris must have made the deal with them and unplugged them. That would have been crazy. Like, a major problem I have with this character is the lack of consequences in our actions. There aren't really reasons to care that much. Like, obviously the character's gonna be sad because they're lonely, no one's watching them, but we aren't really shown why that's bad. If you told us that this character's been unplugged and like just left to rot basically by Chris, then that would have been like, oh shoot, that's probably a really painful thing. I wish we saw more of how it actually affected the character, and instead of just being told, oh, I haven't been watched in a long time. Also, my other major problem with the character is that there's not really any agency. Like, everything that happens to the character is sort of just like, I was given a job, I'm gonna do the job, oh, I failed the job, now I'm dead. I kind of wish like the character actually made some active choices. Like, what if they were going around like nitpicking things, making sure everything was working, sort of micromanaging all the actors, firing them, or like on the parts where they're on the phone. I wish it was like sort of suggesting that Tenna was firing people that Susie and Chris didn't really interact with. Like, that would have been interesting and would have made it seem like, oh shoot, Tenna's killing these people, when in reality, Tenna's actually a pretty nice person. Also, another problem I had was that we were kind of expected to not like Tenna. Like, expected to think that Tenna was going behind our backs, when the game gave us no reason to think that. Like, Susie just thought that when there wasn't really any good reason. But like, I wish they actually gave us a reason to think, oh shoot, Tenna's actually like doing evil stuff. Also, Tenna just like disappears at points of the game and it's never explained. Like, I wish we got explanation for those moments, but I'm going on too much of a rant. I'm gonna have to cut out like a long part of that because I think it's making the video too long. I will keep the main points, but now we get to the actual core. Did I already rank them well? Yeah. First, Rousey. Rousey or Rousey? Rousey, I think. The thing is, chapter 3, I would have put Rousey like. I wouldn't put Rousey there. I would have put Rousey and maybe Won't Forget or Good. But after chapter 4, like, Rousey's always been like sort of a character that you might like. It depends on the person. But it's more like sort of a gimmick, sort of archetype of that nice kid. But after chapter 4, we finally get some real development for the character. The character is actually like shown to have something going on. Like, they've always been a mysterious person, but now we actually see like what their motive is. Especially that part where like Susie puts their hand on Rousey, and then it just has blood on their face. It was great. Susie gets better with every chapter. I think S. Chris, I might get some flack for this, but Chris is not there yet. Chris, we still don't know what they want, and it's hard to say they're a good character when, for the most part, we don't actually get to see their character because they don't talk, and we're controlling them most of the time. In chapter 2, they almost became cinema. Like them, actually in chapter 4 they also have some moments, like when they bite down their hand, we say we're never going to play the piano again. It's a great moment. However, in chapter 3 and 4, those moments aren't really all that. Oh, I guess in Noelle's house we kind of see it, but those are like pretty normal human responses. It just shows that they actually care. In chapter 2 though, it actually like shows deep trauma. So I'm gonna keep them and Won't Forget. Now let me go through this and edit a bit. Okay, I think I'm done with my ranking. This is pretty much my rankings for Deltarune chapters 1 through 4. Well, I guess chapter 4 so far. Obviously, this is the well, let's go from the bottom down. This is the worst character. I rank this in actual order. I rank this in actual order. So these are the worst characters. These characters would be better if they're just like goners. These are characters that just were forgettable. Characters that didn't really add anything to the game. Characters that they added to the game, but nothing. They didn't add that much. Characters that are actually like pretty good for the game. I'm glad they're there. Characters that are just great characters. They really make the game a fun experience, and the greatest creations of all time. Toby's best work. Now, I feel like the king is going to be up here, and I feel like Toriel is going to be up here. It's just Toriel's almost here. I was wondering if I should put Toriel here. I'm not sure what Toriel will do. Meanwhile, we know what Asgore will do. It's just he hasn't done anything. He's set up. He's like right on the precipice of going up. Same thing with Chris. We just don't know what Chris really wants. Like, I can't really say who Chris is so far. But as you can see, this is how I rank these characters. If you have any disagreements, if you have any agreements, comment them below. This is just meant to be a quick video, to test my mic, make sure my mic is working, make sure my voice is clear, not all mumbly like it was before. And thank you for watching. Peace!